Flosstube friends. Today is Sunday, August 10th, 2025. I am Audrey Marine. You can find me on Instagram at StitchStitchBead. This is a channel all about cross stitch if you're new. And if you're not, thank you so much for all my returning subscribers. I have hit the 6,000 mark. That is very exciting. Going into today, I have a lot to show you. I took notes. I think I've covered everything that I need to cover, so we'll get through this. I think it will be a longer video. However, my air conditioning is out once again, so I'm already hot and sweaty, and if I just need to bail, I will have to do that. We've been playing the game where you open up all the doors and windows at night and then shutting them again in the morning, and that only works so well. I think it's about 78 degrees in here, so we're gonna do what we can. Okay, I would like to start with finishes because I have two very exciting finishes, and I showed at least one of them last time, just one of them last time. So I will start with Rose Ada Featherstone. Oh, I finished it. This is a Chart by Hands Across the Sea samplers, and it is exclusive to Hobby House Needleworks. And as far as I know, they still have copies available. You can order directly from their website or give them a call, or if you're local, you're lucky and you can stop in. They are having an event this weekend though with Ray Niles from Red Barn Samplers and Kathleen Littleton of Cross Stitch Antiques and Nicola Parkman of Hands Across the Sea Samplers. And I have some friends that are there, and we've been texting, I'm not there, but they're there and they're having a great time and spending gobs of money and getting lots of wonderful charts from the gals. So it's been fun to see what they get. And I'll talk about more of that later, kind of like going into haul, how you too can get some of the haul that I've been getting. Anyway, but let me show you Rose Ada Featherstone. All done. And I even added my little signature here. I had the same green, I think it's the same green in Swasserfine, so I was able to put my signature in Swasserfine. It just makes it easier because I do it over one. And there was this gap here that looked kind of unnatural considering how busy this side is, so I thought it'd be a good place for my full signature. I was able to fit the lion and the A and the 25 in there. This one was really fun. It went so quickly, I think because a lot of the motifs have few colors and a lot of stitches of just those few colors. It just went so quickly. Like the house was very simple to do. You know, this tree was just one green and some red berries. It went very quickly. This tree was only a little more complex. I have a few little mistakes in here, but it's no big deal. I'm very happy with it. For instance, in one of these ships, I added an extra stitch here, so I just did the same thing on the other side. So it has like this little, it kind of looks a little square there on the bow of the ship, I think. Is that it? My sailing skills are right up there with Joey Tribbiani's, so. But I wanted to let you know, oh, also if you get this chart, you get this little bonus included. But Rose Ada Featherstone, she's a good size. She's 221 by 206, so she's almost completely square. I stitched her on the called for fabric, which was marbled khaki by XJU Design. I chose 46 count and used the called for 103s. Now, in the colors, it says that you need 2 spools of this 647. That may be, but this is my first spool. So if you are relatively conservative with your thread, then you should only need 1 spool. Now, I'm down to the point where if I use a bit more of this, I'm going to start seeing the spool underneath because I can already see the ridges. Do you see that? How it's kind of like squared in places. So it did take a lot of this, but I was nowhere needing my second spool, which was great. I did have the second just in case, but I didn't end up needing it. So a good size, a good little sampler, and no over 1. I chose to put my signature over 1, but the entire sampler is over 2. There are no specialty stitches, so it is Ada friendly. Easy peasy. I really like this one. This is when I was talking about how I got the chart because it's an exclusive and what if I want to stitch it one day, but it's been sitting in this room here for ages. And I thought, I don't know that I really want to stitch it, but I'm so glad I pulled it out because it was a lot of fun. Fun, funky colors, weird birds, Pepto-Bismol, sunburn angels. You know, it's got everything. A unicorn, some ships. Yeah, love it. Love it. So that was my first finish. And then last week we went to Holland, Michigan for a little R&R, basically, some boating and breakfast eating. And if you live in the Holland area or ever go there, go to De Boer's Bakery. So good. We ate there 3 times because those were the days they were open. So we went. Okay. Oh, so we went to Holland, Michigan, and this was the project that I brought with me because I figured I could at least almost finish it while I was there if it was the only project that I brought with me. And I ended up finishing it on Tuesday. We went Sunday through Thursday. We came home Thursday and I ended up finishing it on Tuesday. This is Elizabeth Dinsdale, 1848, also by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I think just about everything I'm going to show you today, with a couple exceptions, is by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I love hats, and this is kind of my year of hats. I'm trying to see how many I could finish in 1 year. And I'm already up to 17. 17. They're not all this big. A lot of them were tiny, tiny, tiny. But this is one that Nicola released in December of last year as the anniversary sampler, anniversary chart, booklet, whatever you want to say. And this also came with a bonus chart. It came with this primer, which I already stitched. I stitched it on 56 count and had Faye Rigsby finish it into a little pillow, and it's so cute. I love it. So it's nice to have the pair done now. I chose to stitch Elizabeth on 46 count beige gray by XJU Design. Probably my favorite fabric dyer. I think she's my favorite fabric dyer, and then there are like 6 who are tied for second. I think that's about what it is. But even though the model is stitched on kind of a golden color, let me tell you what it is. Just the Ticket by Tabby Cat Linen. It is kind of a yellowish color. Depending on the dye lot, some are really yellow. This looks golden in the photo, I think. But I was thinking, because of the moon and the stars, I really wanted on something kind of dusky. So I went with this gray. Initially, I was deciding between Old Linen and this beige gray. Old Linen is basically this color, just darker. But I went ahead with this one, and I like it. I'm sorry that the stars and moon aren't popping as much on the video as they do in person, but I think it looks great, and I'm very happy with my fabric choice. The border was very fun to stitch, very quick, except for the corners and this bit down here in the middle. It is completely regular. Elizabeth was a very neat stitcher, very symmetrical. I got done with this though, and I was a little worried because I was like, oh my gosh, there are these gaps here above those motifs. Am I missing something? No, I'm not missing anything. That's just how it is. The verse is over 1. So if you wanted to stitch this on Ada, you would have to either chart something yourself to fit it in there. You know, you could even probably stitch all the words over 2. You would just need more room, so you could extend the border. It wouldn't be square then, and I kind of like the square. But anyway, you have options if you're going to do that. And then for this one, I was trying to think of where I might put my signature in, and I had considered replacing 2 of these red stars with a little red A and a little red 25, but I ultimately decided to put it down here, which is where the model stitcher put their little signature, the 2 B's. But my A and my 25 fit just perfectly right there. That again was stitched over 1. The B's as well are stitched over 1. So if you stitch this, or whether you stitch on Ada or linen and you just don't want to do over 1, you would just maybe stitch fewer B's. That would just be bigger. And then for the B's, I mean, I just carried There are 33 bees on each side. I was not starting and stopping 33 bees. No. Very happy with how it came out. And I'm thinking about a dark frame for this one. Dark frame. But she's so pretty. Yeah. Okay, Harriet Goddard. I showed this probably a couple of videos ago. Hands Across the Sea Samplers, Harriet Goddard. This has an interesting orientation. The design area is 87 stitches wide by 257 stitches high. I am stitching it on 56 count, but the finished piece will be 3.1 by 9.2 inches on 56 count linen. And look at it. Now, you can't see my hoop mark, but it does look kind of like crinkly. And that's because it got a bath yesterday. I was stitching on it in the morning in here because now I'm already hot and I don't know if I'm going to do any stitching for the rest of the day. I'm like constantly having to wash my hands because I'm getting sweaty and I don't want to, you know, have sweaty hands working with my stitching. But I was stitching yesterday morning while it was still kind of cool, you know, like 76. And I poked myself with the needle and I could feel it on my thumb, and I looked and I was like, oh, but I'm not bleeding, it's fine. And so I was going to continue stitching, and then I looked and there was a teeny tiny drop of blood right in front of this rabbit, this blue rabbit right here. And I was like, all right, well, if I can't get rid of it, then I can just like stitch a little bow on the rabbit's neck or something, it'll be fine. So I took the hoop off, I got up, and I went to the kitchen and I got a little bit of Dawn in my hand. I wet it initially and it didn't just rinse out. So I got a little bit of Dawn and I was kind of working it in my hand, and then I like worked it into the rabbit area and rinsed, and it came out. It was fine. I think because I acted quickly and it really wasn't very much blood, I had no issues getting it out. But I took that as a sign that I needed to be done for the day. So and then I like lay this on a towel and pat it. So it's basically wet blocked yesterday. Yeah. So not too much left on Harriet Goddard. I am done with those berry bowls and almost done with the rabbit. I think I have to add the little eyeball to the rabbit, and I have to finish this flower. I'm missing a couple hearts up here. I have to fill in these diamonds. I'm missing a couple letters, just like little teeny things throughout. But I am excited to get to the deer. There are 2 deer at the bottom, and they have these funny spots on them, and I'll just show you this. They have these funny spots on them, and because all the spots are a grouping of 4 stitches, I thought it would be fun to put rice stitches in there, because rice stitches can easily fit in where 4 cross stitches would be. So this is 56 count Shrekie's Tan by Needle Bling Design. I really like this fabric. I was working on this on Friday when Morris and I went to Always in Stitches for a Stitchy Day to celebrate World Cross Stitch Day. So I got quite a bit done while I was there. I got this tree done and most of the contents of this berry bowl, and then a little bit of this star done. That's what I got done there. But Morris and I were kind of up and down throughout the day, and then he decided he wanted to try crochet. Okay, which meant I had to try crochet. But Peter, who works there, he was kind of roaming around. So Morris and I were fine stitching, but months ago, Morris had mentioned that he wanted to try crochet, and I was like, well, maybe Grandma will teach you, because my mom knows how to crochet. She doesn't like to do it. She prefers to knit, but I think she knows how to crochet. So I was like, well, maybe she'll teach you, and then that just didn't happen. And so then at one point, Morris and I were kind of milling around the shop, and Peter comes up to us, and he's like holding this bag of crochet, and he's like, hey, I'm going to sit down with my crochet. Can I sit at your table? And I was like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, oh, hey, Morris. And then I sent Morris and Peter off to sit in the stitchy room, and I had left, I had stayed in the shop area for a few more minutes, and then I go back there and Peter's doing stuff and he's like, okay, Morris, what do I do now? And Morris told him, he was like, okay, Morris, what do I do now? Like following this pattern. And I was like, how long was I gone? So Morris understands crochet, and even he picked out this kit and there was a video to go along with it. And we watched the video together at home, but I was like, what is this? Because we're watching her do it on the video. It totally makes sense. I'm holding the thing in my hand and I know what I'm supposed to do, but I can't make the freaking yarn do it. And the yarn was really fuzzy and it was like this tan color that kind of all blended together. Anyway, so I was texting my friends. I was texting Brenda Laura Berry in the group text because she's done a lot of crocheting. And I was like, Brenda, how? And she said, just look up Erica Arndt on YouTube and try those videos. You can do it. So we're gonna try watching Erica Arndt. I looked up her channel and I saw that she has several videos for beginners, because this kit that Morris picked out was supposed to be for beginners, but it was like, it did not go well. I did not like it. I got done with like a few little stitches and I told Morris, I was like, this is done, right? And he just loses his mind. He's laughing so hard. He's like, why is it so hard? It's not cross stitching. Okay, so that was a tangent. We tried a new thing. It did not go well, but we will keep going. And that's what Peter was saying. He said that it's not hard to understand. You just have to train your fingers to do the things. Okay, we will train our fingers to do the things. So I showed you Harriet Goddard. The other thing that I meant to show you in talking about Holland, I brought Elizabeth Dinsdale with me to Holland, and we had to take Ryan's grandma's car. It was a whole thing. So I'm sitting in the back with the kids. Grandma's in the front seat. Great grandma's in the front seat. Well, it's Ryan's grandma. It's anyway, it doesn't matter. Ryan's driving. It's like a 3.5, 4 hour drive to Holland. And I was like, I need something to do in the car that is not stitching. And so I finally decided to try EPP, English paper piecing, because my mom had gotten me, I've got a bunch of scrap fabric, but she also had gotten me a charm pack and then these iron-on EPP pieces. So before we left that day, I took a bunch of scraps and then other pieces that I had, and I ironed on some of these hexies. Super easy to do. You didn't need you didn't even need to spray them. I ironed the fabric first to smooth it out and warm it up, and then I stuck these on and gave it a quick iron again, and they're just fine. So I had those all cut out and ironed on, and then I trying to see which one I did first. I think I did this one first. Yeah, because this one has a million tiny stitches on it. So you can see, I don't know, it's fine. This is my sad attempt. I think what I need to do, because I stitched all around this one and connected these ones as I went. And then I did another one and it went very badly. My stitches got better, but the spacing was bad because I ended up with this huge gap. So I think if I stitched this on and did this seam and then did this like that instead of just going around the circle, then maybe it would be better and things would meet better. So what I'm going to do is, since I did not absolutely hate this, like crochet, I will just take these all apart and try again. And I used these Sue Daly Designs Milliner's needles, size 11. I got these at Cotton Hearts Quilt Shop when I went with Laura and her mom, Nancy. Hi, Nancy. And Laura was like, well, you got to get these needles. And I was like, why do I need these needles? But actually, they worked great. They pierced the fabric really well. They're very strong, so they didn't bend. It was very good. So I would recommend, oh, and these EPP iron-on pieces, they semi-dissolve is what they say. Fuse to wrong side of fabric using warm dry iron. Leave papers in project when finished. They will semi-dissolve when washed into soft fibers, which can remain safely in your project. So good. My mom bought me a whole like EPP kit thing from Missouri Star, including proper EPP papers. But for the road trip and for the ease of everything that was going on that day, I was like, I just need something quick, so let's just do these. And it worked out really well. This fabric line is Mansfield Park by Riley Blake. I love it so much. I love it so much. I want it to be my entire personality. Like anything I can get done in this fabric line. So just wanted to show you guys that. It was not awful. Yeah, oh my God, so hot. Okay, but I wanted to show you guys what I did there. Okay, I have notes. So I showed you my finishes and I showed you my one whip, and I need to show you my new starts. Now, I told you guys that I was going to start Mary Cornwall as a sort of Sal with Jordan, the Tattooed Stitcher. Hi, Jordan. And I don't even know what fabric she picked. I think she picked a 46 or a 40, and she picked a subdued tabby cat. Subdued creme brulee, I think. Well, the called for color is 523, which is that color. And I was going through my fabric and I thought, oh, brick powder by XJU Design would look great. But guess what? It's very dull. I don't like the combination. I got about this far and I realized I didn't like the combination. And then I kept going and I was like, I asked myself, well, now I'm probably a quarter to a third of the way done. But when I am done with this, am I going to want to display it? Nope, no but one. Nope, I don't like it. So I restarted it. So much better. So this is Subdued Lollybrock from Tabby Cat Linen. This is a piece of fabric that I got from Steph, Like Girl Stitches. Steph just put out a new video. It's funny, she's got a fun haircut. And I don't know, she's just got great taste in samplers and stuff, so just go watch. And she's so funny. She was talking one time, she was showing a project bag that she had made, and she was talking about the big zipper pull, like she uses those YKK zippers with the huge zipper pulls. And she said, I like a big beefy zipper pull. And I messaged her, I said, I like a big beefy zipper pull too. I don't want those teeny tiny things that you can't even grip. I have small fingers and I need big zipper pulls. So I went ahead and I'm using the same color, 523, but I'm using it in a Swasserfine, so it's 2523 on 56 count Subdued Lollybrock from Tabby Cat. So I had brain. Steph and I have been going back and forth. She said she had some pieces of fabric that she wanted to get rid of. Did I want any of them? Yes. And one of them was this piece. It was like a weird 16th or something that she had left over from something. And when I was going through everything, thinking about how I wanted to restart Mary Cornwall, I thought, well, this is a great piece of fabric for that project and it'll fit lovely. It'll fit nicely. In fact, I think I'm gonna have quite a bit left over here, but I don't mind that I'm butting up against the serged edge there. But I do need to take a look at this because this fabric is it's cut a little funky. But I was stitching on this morning and the boys were in here on the bed. And I think Morris could see that I only had a very little bit of stitching into this piece. And he said, did you start something new? Not at all judgmental. Did you start something new? And I said, well, technically I'm just restarting something. And he's like, well, what are you restarting? And I showed him this and he's like, okay. And then I showed him this and he goes, oh my God, so much better. Oh, yeah. And actually on that note, while I'm talking about them and Steph, Like Girl Stitches. So Steph had, what did I buy from her? I bought that piece and then I also bought this 46 count Thornfield by Needle and Flax. And I was pulling stuff out. I was like, oh, this is so pretty. And when I got him in the mail just the other day, after we got home from Holland, actually, I was like, oh my gosh, look at this, so pretty. And Rupert was like, okay, it's tan. And then I pulled out another one. This is 56 count Subdued Creme Brulee also by Tabby Cat. And I was like, oh, look at this. And Rupert's like, also tan. I was like, it's different. And smart Alec. And then I pulled this out, which is 56 count dirty teacup linen by Needle and Flax. And I was like, look how pretty. And Rupert was like, also tan. And Morris is like, it's a completely different color of tan. It's like, that's why Morris is a stitcher and you're not. I think also Morris was just being sassy to his brother. Any opportunity to give Rupert crap. But Rupert was also laughing about it. He was like, they're really just all tan, which reminded me of a conversation that I had with Kim Goldman, because I guess Kim's husband, Alan, was like, tan? They're all tan. Everything is tan. So it was the same kind of thing. But I'm very happy with my purchases from Steph. She gave me a great deal and she mailed everything off right away. I was so excited. So I have, like I say, I already am using one of these pieces for Mary Cornwall, and then the 46 count Thornfield is the perfect size for like a medium-sized sampler. So I'm considering starting something on this because it seems to be the perfect fit. I like that. I like it when you've got like a nice little perfect cut for a sampler and it's serged all the way around. Okay, that is labeled. This, I'm sorry, I have to put these back in the bags, otherwise I will not remember what they are. Because I could rewatch this video, but I don't really want to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna put these down. And I'm kind of going out of order here, but that's okay. I showed you guys Mary Cornwall. This is available from LNS's all over. You can get it from the Hats website and also from Attic and Hobby House and all that jazz. The Attic has put out, sorry, I'm wiggling. The Attic has put out a new video just recently showing a new sampler that they have, and I almost sent an email that minute. Like I saw the video come up in the morning, like 14 minutes after it was posted, and I watched it, and oh, I want it. It's got weird animals on it. I don't even remember the name of the sampler. I'm sorry, but it would have been a video that just came out the other day. So early August 2025 from the Attic Needlework, and they've got Lakeside linen to go with it and silk packs. Yeah, it's really cool. I want that. Okay. All right, so I showed you finishes, and oh, I need to finish showing you my new starts. That was it. I showed you Mary Cornwall. That's good. But I've also got this. So this is Fanny Louisa Parker, 1880. This is a Hands Across the Sea Samplers chart. This is not available for purchase. I was gifted this by Laura, and it is a cute little red sampler. Stitch count is 146 by 141, so almost completely square. And I am using the called for 523, which is actually the same color, but I'm using 103s rather than the Swatchervine. And I am stitching it on 56 count Dirty Teacup by Needle and Flax. Whoa. There we go. I'm easily halfway done, because below that bird and crown there is the section that says Fanny Louisa Parker, aged 11 years, 1880, and then just one more straight line underneath that. And then obviously I have to fill in the rows I've already started. But these top 3 rows are complete. And this line here is complete, so. I don't know if this was something that they got at a retreat or something. I have no idea. So if you don't have this, but you want it, maybe one of your stitchy friends has it. I don't know. My next and last, actually, new start is very exciting. The Alexanders of Lintrathen, 1829, also by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I have had this kitted up for about 2 years. I've had The chart and silks easily for 2 years. And I am sure I bought the fabric that I'm using well over a year ago, but probably 2 years ago. I am using dark mocha beige, 46 count by XG Designs. That is a pretty true representation of the color. And I'm so happy with it because you guys will see how the colors pop. Oh, look at that. I love that. This is such a funky chart. It has tons of eyelets. This ABC and this row of aqua here is all eyelets. This little tiny line here is actually over 1. And I think this bird here is offset. So it is over 2, but it's kind of off 1 linen thread. So this chart makes you work for it. But I think considering that I only worked on this for a day, that's pretty good. I got a lot of stitching hours in that one day, but this is just 1 day. And I really, really like it. I'm excited to get down to, so I'm here, ABC, and I did some of this row of eyelets. I'm excited to get a little bit in this row done so then I can get down to this row, because that row of letters is cross stitch over 2, but then surrounded by straight stitches, back stitches, whatever you want to say. And it just makes the letters pop with the different color combinations, really funky color combinations. And then you've got some curlicues around these letters. This little alphabet here is actually over 1, just kind of shoved in there. I love that. So really funky chart. I don't know why it took me so long to start it. Maybe it was just, I knew it was going to be a time-consuming one with all the color changes. And I've been looking for, you know, quick finishes and stuff like that. But I love this one and I want it up on my wall. And so can't finish it if you don't start it, right? The stitch count is 215 by 203. So it's really not too big. It's just got a lot in it. Now, if you go onto the Haute's website, you can actually see a photo of the antique. And the antique is I don't know if it's discolored or if it was just stitched on a darker piece of fabric, but I think the dark mocha beige that I have chosen is actually a really good, yeah, because the model was actually stitched on ThreadWorxs Cocoa. And I think this is pretty close. Oh God, look at those colors. I love it. Oh, and I have them all right here, so let me show you. Look at those colors. Fun, right? Yeah. I'm excited to use this like periwinkle color, and it's got 222 in it. 222 is my favorite magenta. I love 222. But then this 106, it's kind of like a cherry pinky red. Anyway, the whole set is amazing. So, highly recommend. Okay. I've showed you all my new starts. I think, I don't know what I'm going to work on this week. It's so, AC Guy is coming tomorrow. So hopefully all of this will be done tomorrow and I will no longer be schwitzing at 9 a.m. for no reason. Okay, now that I've shown you everything I've been working on and started, yeah, I guess it's just to haul and Stitchy Kindness. So let me show you Stitchy Kindness first. The stuff from Steph was kind of looped into that, but I've already shown you all that fabric. So the next thing I want to do is show you some things I got from a lovely viewer who reached out after my last video, or kind of before my last video actually, and she said, well, I know you like beading and I have this beading magazine, can I send it to you? And I'm so glad that I said yes, because she sent me a photo and was like, I can't really tell what's going to be in there, but sure, go ahead and send it. And actually, So many cute things and great for ornaments. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I have done a lot of Mill Hill ornaments for my Christmas tree. I think I've done like 4 or 5 dozen for my Christmas tree, and I really like to bead. And I'm not afraid of perforated paper, Stephanie. But there were a couple things in particular. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you guys. So I don't want to show you a chart on the other side. But fully beaded, which means they would go so quickly. And I love these little bells. You've got presents, Christmas tree, and the bear. And I like this one because it's a funky shape. It looks like a bauble. And this one too. Yeah. So this was really fun to look through. Another fun thing was that it has like order forms in it. And it says, price is valid until October 30th of 2007. They're not good anymore. But it is funny to see. And they've got, what was it, advertisements for Magnifica beads or something. And I hear that those are basically impossible to get now. But it's just funny. It was fun to look through. But after my last video, and I, in my last video, I had mentioned the hats exclusives through Traditional Stitches. And I, in passing, mentioned that Anne Morison is basically impossible to get. And the lovely lady who sent me that beading magazine said, I have that. Would you like me to send that too? Yes, I would. So she sent Anne Morison. So thankful. And guess what? I sat down last night and I wrote her a little thank you card, and I have to go get, pop it in the mail. But after I was done writing that thank you card, I went through my stash and pulled all the silks, and I had all of them. I'm so excited. And I have so much jersey cream. I have so much jersey cream because I bought a full yard of jersey cream when I was getting ready to start the Ufendale sisters. And what I did, because the Ufendale sisters are so big, they each call for a half yard, but they don't actually need a half a yard. They really need like a third of a yard. So I bought 1 yard of fabric and cut it into thirds. 1/3 is Anne Tong Ufendale and 1/3 is Isabella Ufendale. And then I have this other third left over, which is great because you can get like 3 regular size samplers out of that third of fabric. But then Laura was going through fabric and stuff, and she's like, I'm not going to stitch on 45 or higher, so I'll send you what I have. So she sent me a couple pieces of 45 count legacy linen. So I pulled this piece. This is the smallest one I have, just because I don't want like a bunch of yardage to mess with. So I'm going to start Anne probably pretty soon because I have all of her beautiful colors. And I've even put all the colors in the tray ready to go. I had all of my Elizabeth Dinsdale flosses in here, threads in here. And then also this thing just kind of ended up being a catch-all, so I really needed to clean it out. So when I finished Elizabeth Dinsdale, I took all the silks, put them away, and then cleaned this out, you know, dusted it and everything. And it was like, oh, I forgot that was in there. And now this is where Anne Morison will live. It's great. And if you're wondering about this pin cushion, I got this, I don't think I've ever shown this. I got this from Parish Farm Girl, who makes amazing things. So go follow Parish Farm Girl on Etsy and Instagram. Her name is Suzanne and she lives in Louisiana, and she makes amazing, beautiful, gorgeous things. Yeah. So I've got that in there just because it's nice to look at, and you know, it's pretty and functional, so I'm going to use it so I can look at it. So jersey cream, perfect, is actually what it's called for. No, this was stitched on. Oh yeah, it was stitched on jersey cream. I'm so sorry. I'm getting this confused with something else. So Anne Morison is ready to go. And then cross stitch ornaments. I have so many beads left over from the Mill Hill kits. When I get done with a Mill Hill kit, I just toss the threads. It's DMC and I don't want to figure out, well, what color is this? And I got to keep track of it. The beads, I just keep the little baggies. They come in these teeny tiny little baggies, and I keep them and I have them all in one bin. And so the great thing about this is, like, it doesn't matter what red you pick, just pick a red that you like. So I can go through all of the things that I have and just use what works for me. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Yesterday was a heck of a mail day, I swear, because that showed up I didn't even know it was on its way. And here's a cute little card she sent too. That was on its way. And then also I got a package from Jordan. Now this stuff I knew was coming because I had asked Jordan, will you please make me? She's like, yes. She didn't do it begrudgingly. She was very nice about it. But I had some fabric that I had purchased this fabric to have project bags made, and then that fell through. So then it's like, what am I going to do with this fabric? Oh, I know, I'll send it to Jordan, because the main fabric in this line, this is Love Letter by, don't remember. Just go on to 123 Stitch and put in Love Letter, because I know that that's where I got the fabric. Lizzie something? Lizzie House? Is that her name? I'm so sorry. I'll put the information down below. But this fabric, oh, I just thought it looked so Alice in Wonderland, and Jordan's favorite Disney movie is Alice in Wonderland. So I was like, I have so much of this fabric. I will send it to you. Can you make me a project bag and then keep the rest and make yourself a project bag? She said, yes. So what I did was I sent her the fabric that I had, which was a bunch of this and a bunch of this in a couple different colors actually. And then from Fat Quarter Shop, I bought 2 of the Love Letter charm packs, mini charm packs, sorry, because I remember Jordan saying that she uses a mini charm pack to make a bag. So I bought some zippers. These are Lori Holt double zippers. I picked these zippers out. I will say that I like YKK zippers better, but I didn't know what I was buying. I just wanted something that wasn't the teeny tiny zipper pull, and even these, like, they could be bigger. But I picked these out, and then I bought 2 mini charm packs and had that sent to Jordan, as well as the like yardage that I had. And she put this together, and then she says she's gonna make one for herself. Look at this bunny. So weird. Love that bunny. So thank you, Jordan, for that. And then, you know, talking about this fabric line, this Riley Blake fabric line that I love so much, this Mansfield Park. I sent Jordan some fabric from that line too. Oh, look at it! And she was putting this all together, and she sent me a text one night with a few different trims, and she said, what trim do you want along your zipper? And I said, oh, absolutely, that ridiculous fringy thing. And she said, oh, good, that's what I wanted you to pick. I was like, well, why didn't you just pick it? So, oh, I love this fabric. I love it. Thank you, Jordan. And again, this is a Lori Holt double zipper. This would be red. The other one was pink or peach or something. I don't remember. Okay. That, I think, thank you, dear. That, I think, is my Stitchy kindness. All right, I'm back. My hair is up. I'm guessing it's 79 in here now. Okay, let's get to haul. Actually, I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick. Okay, hands are clean and I'm ready to go now. I've got quite a bit of haul. Some of it is still on its way to me, so you'll see that next time, but I can still talk about it and let you know what's going on, because there may be some things that you're interested in. But first, let me show you what I got from Evertote recently. I got my most recent installment of the one-of-a-kind Floss Club. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at that. Okay. So we've got Mazed and Confused, Sunny Disposition, Cobb's Your Uncle, Driving Me Daisy, Hide and Seek, Bumbleberry, and Extravaganza. Very pretty. It's got like a bunch of pinks and a little bit of yellow in it. Very pretty. So when those showed up, holy cow. And I forgot to play that game. Guess what? Guess what colors it is this week? I just opened it up and was like, wow. So I love those. I love those. And they're one of a kind. They had some extras from one of the months and they put those on the website. It was the month that had the Shrek themed flosses, like a lot of greens, and they were called Fiona and Ever After and Ogre and stuff like that. So I purchased an extra skein of each of those greens, and then I really wanted additional skeins of Monarch, which is like that perfect bright Halloween orange. And so I emailed Hannah and she said, yeah, we have some, just let me know how many you want and I can add it to an order. So I paid for those. I bought 2 skeins of Monarch, so I should for a very long time have lots of the perfect Halloween orange, and hoping to get that with my next month. I swear, the 15th of the month, when I see that charge from Evertote, it's so exciting. It's just like, oh, more flosses are coming. Okay, and then I wanted to mention that I got more of this yarn. I am not a knitter, but my mom is a knitter and she makes socks. She's already made me 1 pair of socks out of this awesome self-striping yarn. And she said it was really nice to work with. And she's kind of picky. So she said that if I bought more, she would make me more socks. So I got this. This is Timber Yarns, which is a Canadian wool dyer. It says made in Canada. You can go to timberyarns.com. But I bought this off of the Evertote website, Evertote.ca. The other thing I got from Evertote ahead of Sampler September is the latest release from Maximum Cross Stitch. This is Jane Wood 1853. It's gorgeous. This picture doesn't do it justice because just go watch their videos, please. And in fact, Hannah, Floss Boss Hannah, does a completely separate video just showing the threads and the fabric for Jane Wood, and she goes through all the colors and gives you all the names and everything. But this is the floss pack I made you guys. So I'm excited for, look at this. This is maraschino. And then this blue, look at this blue. What is this? Royale. Look at that. And then we've also got Lucille, which is a very nice red. This lipstick is fun. Yeah, very good. So if you're interested in that, still available. Yeah. She's a big girl though. This stitch count is, I think it's 300 by 300-ish. Oh, and then the chart is not in color, but it's very big. Very big and easy to read. Let's see, 302, I think, by 306. So, need a big piece. Yeah, I hadn't made a decision on fabric yet, but I have a giant piece of off-white 46 count, and I was texting Jem about that, and she was like, no, you're not using that. So she says she's gonna send me a fat half of 40 something. 40 count something, and I'm very excited. So when it shows up, I'll show you guys. But I am very excited to start this. This will be one of, honestly, too many starts in Sampler September, but who cares? Yeah, I love that floss pack. Okay, since we're talking about Roxy Floss, before I forget, even though I have notes, I want to talk about one thing. Let me pop up and get it. I placed an order from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I believe it would have been for the Queen of the May, so back in May. And included in my order was a gift note card, a note card with envelope. And this is, I think, something that Nicola includes in almost every one of her orders. I believe I've gotten one in every one of my orders from her. The one that was included in that order was this one. And I thought, I've never seen that before. Well, this is the latest release from Hats. But you have to go, as of right now, you have to join the Facebook group Friends of Hands Across the Sea Samplers to purchase this. But the good thing about purchasing through the link that is provided on the Facebook page is that you will not only get the chart for this big sampler stitched by Maria Wales Newson, but you will also get the primer that the same girl stitched. You'll get the chart for that as well. And when these charts go on general release, I think it's at the end of this month or early September, then you'll have to purchase them separately. But if you, from now until August 31st of 2025, if you use the link through the Facebook group, you'll purchase this for however many pounds it is. It wasn't much. It was like her standard price. You'll get this and the additional booklet for the same price. So she had said in one of her videos that, you know, look out because August 1st, something really exciting is coming. And so on August 1st, I woke up and went, oh, it's August 1st. And because she's in the UK, it's already her afternoon. I figured she's probably already doing stuff. So I checked the Facebook page, and only like 3 minutes before had she posted a video, her and Sue talking about these two pieces, and the links were good to go. So like 11 minutes after things had posted, I had ordered the booklets and the silk pack that she had, and they were, you know, through the PayPal, everything good to go. So I have this chart coming as well as the primer. I've already purchased the silks for the primer because that wasn't an option that Nicola had. She did have a silk pack available for this big sampler, and I'm sorry, it's already sold out. It sold out very quickly. The charts are still available. That is not sold out. The silk packs are sold out. But for the primer, I decided I was going to stitch it on 56 count. So I just went ahead and ordered the Swatsurfine because the two colors that were needed were available on Swatsurfine. I ordered these from Hobby House because these are only about $6 a piece, and you get 100 meters, I think. Yes, 100 meters. So the primer is just in those two colors. So that's what I've got coming. If you want this chart, you'll be able to order it soon from anywhere. But if you want it now and you want to get that second booklet included, then order it through the link in the Facebook group, okay? Can you do that? Do it. I have that coming. It's very exciting. And the people at Hobby House get to see the models. She's a big girl also. Like, this is 400 and some stitches. I was on the phone with Jem and we were talking about it. And I said, because I had just clicked the links, added to cart, and checked out. And then I went back and watched the video to learn about the samplers. And I was on the phone with Jem and she's like, yeah, I got the PDFs and I'm all good to go and everything. And I was like, did you see how big it was? Because only after I paid did I actually look to see how big the darn thing was. And she was like, how big is it? And I said, well, one of the stitch counts is 400 and some. She's like, Audrey, why didn't you tell me? It's like, you would have bought it anyway. What does it matter? And the other thing to know about this is that there will be a stitch along for it running through 2026. So for those who show their progress in the Facebook group, you'll be entered for various drawings. And then at the end of the year, for those who have finished it, and it is a big girl, there will be a drawing for an antique sampler. That's what Nicola says, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay, I would say go watch her video to learn more about this. Now, the whole sampler, I believe, is stitched over 2, except these capital letters here are 4-sided stitch. And then it does look like this verse is over 1, but, and same thing with the letters down here, but perhaps you could adjust or rechart to suit your needs if you do this on Ada, or you just don't want to do over 1. I get it. She's a big girl. But the floss pack, the silk pack, was so pretty. So I'm excited. I should have that to show you next time because I know it's already on its way. I got that shipping notification from Nicola. Okay. Oh, before I forget, because Nicola does not have silk packs for this any longer, and if you do not happen to have the silk in your stash, that's okay. But there is a Roxy Floss co-conversion all ready to go for this because somebody requested it from Hannah. Hannah did it, and it's all good to go. So if you want to stitch on with overdyed cottons, you can get Roxy Floss, which would be lovely because they have some gorgeous yellows, as we've seen. Now, these are not in the like regular catalog, but Carrie knows how to dye yellow and green. She's got some gorgeous greens. So I imagine this. I've seen the photo of the Roxy Floss co-pack for this, and it's gorgeous. It was posted by somebody in the Facebook group. Okay. that was a lot of information about something that I don't actually have here, but I wanted you to know. Okay, a little bit more haul. Honey Penny! I got this on a DS-Tach. I'm still waiting on something else from a DS-Tach. It's like, it was only $12, but where is it? So I think I'm gonna have to send a grumpy message. Not really, but it's more like, can I have my $12 back, or can you send the darn thing? Yeah. Henny Penny, this is, I was so excited when I found this on a DS-Tach. I was like, yay, that was an exclusive from a retreat, and you can't find it because it's not released. And the day after I bought this, I saw 1, 2, 3 Stitch. It's like, new release is coming soon. It's so cute though, I don't care. So cute. So I think I'll stitch this on 40 count with 1 strand, and I think I'm gonna do some Roxy floss because I have a lot of it. Maybe, I think for Henny Penny, for her, antique wedding dress would be a good creamy color. I wonder if I have that to show you. Oh, mother of pearl. This is a good one. That'd be good for a chicken color. Yeah, but I can't dip into this pack because I'm gonna need a lot of it for Jane Wood. And I think the last thing that I have to show you guys is a kit that I bought from Hoop and Frame. And then I have one other thing to talk about. Just one other, no, I have a couple more things. Wow, we're already at the 1 hour mark. Okay. Anne Castle. I have been just looking at this chart and finally decided, you know what, I really want it and I'm gonna stitch it one day, so why not have it now? And I went ahead and ordered from Hoop and Frame and got the silk pack. It takes so many colors, it was just easier for me to just buy all the silks together at once from Hoop and Frame, rather than to try to cobble together the collection from my own stash. Now, Anne Castle, she's a big girl, and she does have a lot of over 1, but I love that. And she has a lot of satin stitch. This kind of sawtooth looking border around here, that is satin stitch. And then the frame of this cartouche is satin stitch. And this funky lawn in front of the house is also satin stitch. Really cool. So probably not Ada friendly. I think it would just be too difficult to change those things, but absolutely gorgeous. And this was stitched on Zweigart parchment. So I think I'll probably stitch this on Jersey Cream from Legacy, because I think all of the colors will work on Jersey Cream, which is on the floor now. I'm not picking that up. Yeah. Maybe this color would blend in too much, but you're already getting, I bet it's this color here, and you're already kind of getting a ghosting effect. And I don't mind that in a border. The house will pop, the roses will pop, the verse is done in a red color. I love this so much. So gorgeous. That funky lawn, that's what I like. The weird house with the pears alongside and the funky grass. The grass is blue and yellow. Blue and yellow. So I have plenty of things to keep me busy. The last bit of haul that I have to show is something really big and really exciting. After seeing some friends' ultimate travel bags that they got from Apoon, I thought, I really want one of those. They look so nice, they look so well made, and I'd really like one for myself. So when she had availability on her calendar open up in May and June, I quickly messaged her and secured a spot in line, and I sent her my fabrics, and I gave her a pretty basic idea of what I wanted, and she produced what I think is most beautiful ultimate travel bag. I'm very happy with it. I know everybody likes their bag better, but I'm so excited. So this is that same fabric line. This is Mansfield Park by Riley Blake, and I asked Apoon if she could take a bunch of different fabrics and put them all together to make a weird, funky patchwork bag, and she did, and I love it. I love it. Love it. And it's very stiff, it has feet on the bottom. I love this juxtaposition of all these weird funky fabrics. So initially she requests yardage for the outside, yardage for the inside, and yardage for the trim and straps. And I said, well, instead of sending you 3 fabrics, could I send you like 9? And she was like, okay. She was very nice about it. And like I said, the only thing that I had to tell her, she asked me, do you want this color zipper or this color zipper? And I said red. And so she used red zippers, which I love how they pop, and big beefy zipper pulls, because these are the by Annie zippers, which are YKK zippers. Love them. And then I asked her to do silver hardware. And normally I really like yellow gold hardware on things, but for this fabric line, because it's a lot of blues and tans, I thought silver would be best. So cool. So this is for your suitcase handle. Your suitcase handle can go right through there. That's a pocket, that's a pocket. There's one on the other side. There's a zipper pocket here. This is a pocket. And then on the inside, it's big enough, and I tested it out, big enough for a berry bag to stand up. And then she made a strap to go with it. So gorgeous and very thick and well made. And then the lining is the landscape from, it's this same fabric, but it's in white landscape. So I'm so happy with it. And then I showed the kids, and they're like, whoa. I think it's just because it's funky and different, and it's not something that you would, like, you can buy a red bag or a pink bag or a black bag, but you're not gonna be able to buy a bag that has all these different weird patterns all put together. And I showed the kids, and I was like, oh, look what else I got. And they're like, oh, because, you know, they like little zippers and things and like that. And I was like, but wait, there's more. And I pulled this out, and they're like, oh my God, it's so tiny. It's like, what is it gonna hold, really? I don't care, it's so cute. I remember Jordan showing hers, and she's like, I'll put my AirPods in it. And now seeing this in person, I understand. You will get your AirPods in it and probably nothing else. You can fit like 2 spools of thread. But maybe if you had keys, or maybe you wanted to put like an air tag or something in here, you could do that. I mean, it will hold more than AirPods, but not much. This clam up pouch, now I know that this pattern and the Ultimate Travel Pattern bag are from By Annie. So if you sew and you want to make this for yourself, by all means, go ahead and do that. But there is no way. It would take me years to learn how to do something like this, and even longer to be really good at it. This bag was worth every penny and then some. And I am so happy with it. And I'm so grateful that I was able to get, you know, a spot on Apoon's calendar, because she did a great job. This now has my silks for Harriet Goddard in it. And then when she's all done, I get to put other silks in it. And I just love the big beefy zipper pulls. And so stiff, so stiff. I love this. So thank you, Apoon, thank you. And thank you to the other women who have purchased from her and have shown them on their channel and on Instagram posts and stuff, because I don't think I would have ever known about her or this Ultimate Travel bag or anything else she's made. And she's made awesome tote bags and like little caddies and things. And I'm like, I want all that. And actually when Morris and I were at Always in Stitches yesterday, which is not just a needle workshop, it's, I would say, mostly a quilt store that also sells yarn and cross stitch stuff. They have tons of quilt fabric, but they also have a ton of patterns from By Annie. They've also got zippers and little hardware things and accessories and things like that. So I was able to see some of these different patterns from this designer, and I thought, well, if in the future Apoon has availability for me for some other things, first of all, I want like 2 more of these. And then a couple other things I think would be awesome. But she just did such a great job. She was, I would say, easy to work with, but I didn't even have to communicate with her that much. I was like, can I send you a lot of different fabrics? Can you make it into a patchwork thing with one fabric on this side and one fabric on that side? And she was like, yeah. And she put this together, and it was better than I could have ever imagined. So thank you so much. And the boys were actually, they were like, how much did that cost? And usually I'm very transparent about things. I was like, it cost what it cost. Don't ask me any questions. And they were like, but, and I was like, it's my birthday gift to me. I'm so happy. We had just watched The Emperor's New Groove, and so they thought this was hilarious. No more questions. But as I say, it was totally worth it. I was very happy. I actually FaceTimed Jen because she and I, God, we talked like 3 or 4 times that day. And I told her that the bag was on the way. And she's like, okay, you got to FaceTime me when it comes. And so when I called her, just a voice call, she was like disappointed. She was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I just have to ask you a question about something completely separate. And then when the bag finally came, I did FaceTime her and she was excited. She was making all sorts of noises on the phone. Like, oh, it's so pretty. Okay. So what have I got planned? I showed you all my haul. I showed you what I've been working on. I think we're into plans now. Well, Ryan and the boys and I are going to Wisconsin later this week. We leave on Thursday. We go to, oh, which reminds me, okay. We're going to Road America, which is a racetrack in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And we've been going every year for the past, I don't know how many years. And we have a pretty, we kind of do the same thing every time. He has to work, and that's why we're going. But we stay at this Airbnb, this house right in town, and we have a favorite breakfast place, and we get dinner at the, the same sort of places every time, and we go eat 2-inch ice cream from Gessert's, which is fun. And I'm kind of trying to figure out what I'm going to take as a travel project. Now, do I do the responsible thing and take one old whip and force myself to work on it for those 4 days? Or... Or do I start something new, or just take something newer that I'm more excited about, or take like 5 things? No, I never do that. I don't take 5 things. I take like 2 things, just in case I got really mad at one of them, right? So I gotta figure that out. But I did make a list here of things that I have completely kitted up. Anne Castle, which I showed you guys. I have Mary Locke all kitted up. These are all hats, by the way. Are we surprised? Mary Locke I have completely kitted up. Mary Wigglesworth I have kitted up. I got all the floss from that. I was missing 2 colors, but when I finished Elizabeth Stevenson, those 2 colors were in there. So I got to pop them into the bag for Mary Wigglesworth. And I have Rosa Gromit completely kitted. That was a chart and thread pack that I got from Hobby House in October of last year when I went to the Great British Sampler Weekend Comes to America. Have not started that. Georgia has started that. Georgia's finished that, actually, now that I think of it. I would like to start that one. There was a contest when we were there to guess how many stitches was in it. I came really close. I was a little annoyed. I think I remember there are like 30-some thousand stitches in it, like 31 or 32,000 stitches in it. So it's not super massive. You could finish it in a couple months if you have a lot of stitching time. I know that most people don't have as much stitching time as I do. I'm very grateful for the stitching time that I get. But thinking about Rosa Gromit, it would be nice to start her because I really like that one. I was so excited about it. I figured out that that was the one before we went to Hobby House, and so I was like, I want that chart. And now it's been like 8 months and I haven't started it. I don't know. But I have that one kitted up. I also have Annie Morris, which is a really tiny one. And it's just got 5 colors. And I got another piece of Regency linen by Seraphim, which I love. And the piece that I got is actually a little more blue and green and kind of funky modeling. I think it would work really well for Annie Morris. Because the only other piece of Regency linen that I had, this is from Seraphim, did I say that? Was a lighter, paler, dusty aqua sort of color, and this one is like more funky, and I really like it. So I have Annie Morris kitted up. I have Anna Morison kitted up, thanks to Stitchy Kindness. I also have Margaret Anderson kitted up, which was another one that was given to attendees of a Hobby House retreat by Nicola a few years ago, and I managed to find a copy of the chart on eBay. You can buy the PDF on the Hats website, but you can't buy the booklet. You can only buy the PDF on the website, but I have the booklet, got that on eBay. So if I feel like I need a new start, I have lots of options. But for now, I really think I will continue to put stitches into Mary Cornwall, just because to me, this is not so much a start. It's not quite a start. I need to put a few more stitches in this, a few more threads, and then I can feel good about calling that a start, calling that a whip. But I might want to start something new, but not today, not today. I am so hot, it's so warm in here. All right, the last thing, I'm pretty sure the last thing I have to talk about is, nope, two more things. World Cross Stitch Day, I need to go back to that. World Cross Stitch Day. So Morris and I went to Always in Stitches for their little, you know, World Cross Stitch Day get-together thing. And he got a few stitches in. He unfortunately had to frog some stuff that he had already done like a couple weeks ago. He made a line in yellow and it was supposed to be like dark green. And he's like, how did I do that? Also, you could have just left it in yellow. It's yours. But he wanted to do it right, which is commendable. So had to rip that out. He did get some other stitches in that were correct, which is good. But we had fun. The crochet thing was a little bit frustrating, but I'm excited that he likes to try new things. Also there, I met Jana, who came over and said hi, and she apparently watches my videos, and she was very excited to meet. Well, she wasn't jumping up and down. I won't say she was very excited, but she was very nice and polite. She came over and said nice things, and we chatted for a bit. And then I went over to see what she was working on, and she was working on a Robin Pickens, and it just reminded me of Alba Stitcher, who has finished those 4 Robin Pickens birds, and I really love those so much. And I was telling Jana about how I introduced my mother to Robin Pickens, because she also has quilting fabric and stuff, and my mom was like, you didn't need to tell me this stuff existed. And I was like, well, you don't have to buy it. But maybe she does. So it was nice to meet her. And then also at my table was a woman, Jenny, and I thought she was familiar, but I thought maybe it was just one of those things, like maybe she just looks familiar. Maybe that's just the sense I'm getting today. No, we were talking, and turns out she went to the Sweater Weather retreat back in October of 2023, hosted by Colleen Rebel Stitcher in Philadelphia. And we were like, oh, isn't that funny? We were both at the same retreat and we didn't even know it. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, well, Jenny, what's your handle on Instagram? And she was like, Patchwork and Poppies. I was like, I met you. I said, you were wearing really cool boots. And she was like, I don't think I've seen those boots since we moved. So one of those weird things. So it was nice to chat with her. She was a very good table mate because we chatted a bit, and then we had some silence where we just stitched, which was great. And then we chatted a bit, and it was very nice. It was a very pleasant day. It's just funny how, and Morris was kind of giving us the like, what is going on look when we figured all this out. And she looks at him, she's like, cross-stitching, it just brings people together. And she said it in like, you know, a very Hallmark sort of way. And he's like, it was funny though. It does though. You know, you think it's like, it's a very silly and corny thing to say. And she was like really laying it on thick, but it's true. Cross-stitching brings people together. I have friends now in Oklahoma, and I have a friend in Idaho, and I have friends all over. It's the weirdest thing. And it's wonderful. It's great. So, and Stephanie of Cross Stitch the Globe, one of the people in Oklahoma, she was talking about how, I think this would have been on her latest video, which was about hot takes and controversial opinions about cross stitch and stuff, which was really funny. She was talking about how if it was just about the craft, it was just about cross stitching, then you wouldn't need Flosstube. But it's about the community. It's about stitching, which you love, but it's about talking to and connecting with other people who also love that same thing that you love. And that's why we have Flosstube, and that's why there are so many Flosstube channels, and that's why it's so wonderful for so many people, because you make this connection and you get real human connection over something that may seem to others very trivial, but it's lovely. So one last thing finally, and then I will let you guys go. I'm sorry I don't have anything else to show you, anything else fun to show you. But one last thing. The ThreadWorxs Fair next June 2026 in New Harmony, Indiana. Karen Combs. Karen Combs has been talking about this because she lives kind of south, but apparently it's not too far for her to go to New Harmony, Indiana. So she is planning on attending. I think she's already signed up for like the garden tour and something else. I don't know what else. But if you are interested, you can contact Cranberry Bog Cottage. Is that upside down? Now it's upside down. You guys. Email Cranberry Bog Cottage. I will put the email in the information box below. If you are interested in submitting items to the show, entry fee is $10 for the first piece, $5 for each additional piece. You are limited to 3 total pieces. The different categories are on the ThreadWorxs Fair website, and I will put that below as well. You can take a look at the different categories available. There is one for reproduction samplers. There's one for Christmas. There's one for other holiday. There's one for young stitchers. You have to be under 18, I believe. There are, I don't know, a dozen or so different categories. So if you're interested, you can contact Cranberry Bog and request the paperwork. They have to send it to you in the mail because it's one of those, like, has carbon copies, legal documents. So you fill all that out, and then you send cash or check with your entry form, and then it has to be received by May 20th of 2026. I have actually already booked a room as well at the New Harmony Inn down there. And it's nice. I got 1 bed, so nobody can stay with me. I told Ryan, I was like, if you're home, you're allowed to come. But otherwise, no. It's just going to be a nice, I think, fun thing to go and do. There are going to be classes. I haven't signed up for any classes, and I don't plan to. I just kind of want to walk around the town and eat and look at the different things on exhibit. And my understanding is that there will be different stitching groups set up around the little town, not even a town, kind of like a compound sort of thing in this area. So I'm really looking forward to that. Karen Combs has given information about this because she's planning on going. And then also Teresa Kogut, she will be there in attendance. She's not teaching any classes as far as I know, but she will be a vendor. So she'll have things for sale and she'll be there. So if you're interested in meeting Teresa Kogut, you know, make the drive if you can, I guess. And also let me know if you have any questions or comments. You can also message me on Instagram at StitchStitchBead if you have anything else. So I will talk to you guys again in a few weeks. Thank you so much and happy stitching.